好天氣，10零度，非常之涼爽。咁我哋而家咧就準備出發去一個好特別嘅地方，就係去摸蠔啊，係啦 ，Oyster Tour 係啦，我哋就係去 Oyster Tour。好啦，我哋到咗 Oyster Farm 呢度咧，就係去呢一個海山蠔。咁呢度咧就係
They have salmon. They have salmon.
啊，佢呢個餐廳係啦 ，Oyster Farm 前面嘅餐廳。咁呢個 tourist 咧就係有包一個每人一打生蠔嘅。你有咩食啊？呢個
Yeah, and sashimi.
係喎，遲啲 later，not now。
Lots of oysters.
Yeah.
Pacific oysters.
嗰啲先係啊，低能呢啲先係啊。Hidden look this not this one， 嗰啲沙嗰啲先係啊，呢啲沙切好嘅。一嚿咁你點食啫？佢咧將啲蠔咧擺晒喺地下咧，剪過啊，我哋鋪喺地下。呢度咧就係 Oyster Farm 門口一間餐廳，咁我哋就而家喺度等待集合。咁啊，今日有10幾個人一齊落去嗰個蠔場度咧，就係去採摘呢個生蠔。咁咧就好似應該係類似呢啲咁樣，係啦，就好似呢啲咁樣。我哋應該就會落去體驗團，係啦，着一啲防水衣，跟住就落去體驗。咁啊，佢哋話原本咧Hayden 就唔可以落去嘅，但係因為佢話今日水退啲水淺，咁就小朋友都可以落去，咁佢就話可以俾我哋帶埋小集落去。好，我哋而家上車就去呢一個海邊啦。Go go go！ 我哋而家咧就去到海邊，坐咗10分鐘車，跟住而家我哋咧就着上呢個衫咧，係啦，着呢啲衫，係啦，就落場啦。Hayden，are you ready？ 好啦，快啲，快啲，快啲，快啲，着啦，着啦。係啊，着落去就得噶啦。好，時間關係，落水啦。因為咧，應該係防水嘅。佢意思就係我哋而家件衫係啦，咁啊有啲禮計啊，因為而家唔係好適應嗰種感覺，好奇怪，係啊，同埋 set 個 cam 咧，佢就話：你哋唔好帶咁多嘢上身啊，因為咧一陣間你哋要2隻手雙手並用㗎。
As this comes around, this is a big 12-year-old oyster. Oh, wow. And typically we don't see these for sale that often because 12 of those are pretty daunting for a lot of people on a plate. So most restaurants prefer to sell the smaller ones. However, commercially speaking, the reason why we don't see them is because the oysters that you're going to see eat today on land are of a premium grade. So if we were selling them to, say, the Sydney fish market, you could sell them for $10 to $11.50 a dozen. They said they were sweet. Not that they tasted bad, just the smaller ones were sweet.
12歲咁大隻啦，哇，好勁喎嚇！
Yeah, there you go.
好大隻喎。
But also, there's a lot in your mouth. And I can tell you now, watching someone eat one is as confronting as actually doing it. Because everyone on that tour was both amazed and...
Hayden, your jacket.
Oh, yeah.
They're smart. Okay, good.
The action of opening and closing is strengthening their main muscle called the abductor muscle, which is the white hard bit on the inside. And it's important for us to have a strong muscle so that when we take our oysters to the shop, you put them in the fridge and they'll survive up to 11 days out of water. Pretty happy. But how we buy our baby oysters, I'm going to show you. We actually buy them from a nursery, such a hatchery. And Tasmania has the biggest hatcheries in Australia, like a baby, because they will blow away, which is not a joke. So, it's okay if you do drop it, but we'll try to avoid it. Yeah, there we go.
Baby oyster.
You can have a look at that one there. Share it with you. Eat it all at once.
家姐睇下，幾 tiny 啊！係喎，你擺你塊面度睇下同幾大。
That is a fully formed oyster.
喂，唔好喐啊！喂，
I can see on your dinner plate, but of course tiny.
係喎，好細喎，very tiny。
Check it out. I want you
Fascinated?
to check it out.
What an oyster. So a big part of what we have to do is grade them out into their size groups to give them the best chance to grow. And when they're this small, we do that by hand. And I don't mean one by one, because that's insane. But we pull them out and we pan them like you pan for gold. The small ones fall through, the big ones are on the top, and then you put them back into their appropriate size home. And by that I mean they don't fall out. Pretty straightforward. When I was working here, 1 million oysters would take me half a day. So it's not that big of a job. Glance, you can see that there's quite a bit of discrepancy in there again with these different sizes. Yeah, about 1 year to a year and a half.
Yeah. See?
You can see them in there. Yeah.
It's a difference. No.
There we go.
佢大嗰隻個，即係頭先你已經有一隻手指咁長先伸埋去
They have a
度
much
咧。
harder shell. They come back out into the river to grow some more. The large ones that fall out the end, of course, they're big enough to eat, so they go straight to the shop. Or if the shop doesn't need them, they'll come out here for storage. So you run out of oysters on the weekend, you just harvest out of the river. The medium size, however, is approaching a restaurant size oyster. So we'll put these into a new home, which we call a module, and then we take them out to the ocean, where we fat them up. And that's what I'll explain now. So I'll just put these guys back. And what we're going to do is walk behind us here. It does get slightly deeper. And this is a lower tide, and I'll show you what happens.
I know.
其實佢浸咗一半啊！
Take them out to the offshore leads. And down there we have these long ropes that are about 400 to 500 metres long, held down by some pretty hefty anchors with some floats holding that line up, and then we have toggles hanging down underneath. You simply drive along, pick that line up with a crane, sits in the side of the boat, and then you drive backwards and forwards along that through these loops, whoop, and then we push them off the boat. So they're hanging 6 metres below the water. What are they doing underwater? They're just open and they're eating for 10 to 12 weeks with no exercise. So you can imagine what happens. They get pretty fat pretty quick. So these oysters that will grow from here, and at the end of 12 weeks they come back in, they're up to here. Because they've essentially doubled in size. However, being underwater for so long, that shell becomes brittle because it hasn't been getting the UV from the sun, and the muscle becomes weak because it hasn't been working out with the tide.
佢而家咧就攞啲喺佢養殖嗰個籠入邊一啲新鮮嘅蠔咧，就俾我哋嘗試下。呢個係中 size 係啦，咁而家咧就攞一啲出嚟。
Surely it's just for the irony of having a bad haircut. Because there are actually some stylish mullets, believe it or not. But this guy's look. He wasn't wearing it well. But anyway. So obviously having an oyster straight out of the river like this, you're going to find them to be a bit saltier than you're used to, but I don't know what else to tell you. That's what they taste like. Hey, okay. If you don't like a natural oyster, unfortunately I don't have anything else in my pocket. But once we get back on land, I do have some options for you as well. So, has anyone ever shucked an oyster before? Right? Yeah.
I'll pass on one.
Well, I'll do a shucking demo every undeniable day for free.
白痴仔啊，有個白痴仔啊！
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be really slippery.
掉咗，掉咗，
You can still eat it.
玩咗太耐我，好啦好啦，快啲食啊！係，我要食，我食，係
You can still eat
係
it.
OK，好味啊？好鹹啊，好鹹。
Still eat
OK，
it. You can
多
still
多
eat
多
it.
多多，
Shell under the water, the fish.
我玩到跌 Q 咗。
係啊，白痴仔啊！
Is it good?
Good.
Sweet relief that you savor.
好 juicy 啊！好味，好味，好味。
What's that? Did the fish come up?
佢哋話咧，你放個蠔落去，都有啲魚會走埋嚟，因為佢以為有嘢食啊。冇。
You just have to wait.
I think so. Some people catch it.
Thank you。
But I will say that most people that are fishing in the river are fishing for
頭
free.
先我跌落海，我爭啲俾佢啄咗嚟食。好在。OK，let's go。
Now my pants are gonna.
太危險啦！你嚟呢度。
I think my wear leak.
係啊。
I think my suit leaked. I think my suit leaked. Now there's water in my pants. I think it leaked.
係咩？
Yeah, it was all because of... No, let's check it out before we go in the land. We need to dry it up before we go to a new home.
嚇！佢話件衫濕咗咯，入邊。
I think it leaked! No! Why? I hate this. I hate this day.
係，所以咪話咯，你唔好玩到。
Okay, I know what you're gonna say, but I want... Yeah, I do like this place, but sometimes it can be a little wet.
我哋而家要翻去啦，係啊。咁我哋今日呢個海上生蠔體驗團，咁啊而家就要翻上去啦，換翻衫。好啦，我哋而家咧就要上水啦，因為咧呢個體驗團已經完結啦，係啦，咁啊無驚無險啊！ 咁啊，算冇跌咗落水。咁啊，今日嘅水都唔係好深。咁啊，浪就一般啦，都 OK。而家行翻上去先。
Tracking demo for you all, and then you can all have a turn.
睇下先嗱，呢個咧就係我哋嗱，我哋而家咧就教我哋開
If you
號。
like to step in front of your barrels, I'll put them a little closer here, and I'll show you how you do this. So typically when it comes to shucking an oyster, what we usually see is you see a lot of chefs will shuck from the back. It's a perfectly fine way to shuck an oyster, but a hard way to shuck an oyster. And this next step you don't have to do once you've had some practice, but initially it does give you a good guideline. So careful there, don't putting a fork on your leg trying to get a fly. Sorry. So thumb behind the guard there, so it's like an extension of your thumb. So I'm going to come about halfway down with my knife and stick it just above that white line. And you'll always want to go above that white line, because if you go below, it's like trying to stick your knife into a brick wall. So, applying a bit of pressure, coming in at my 45, I'm doing a little bit of twisting on that one spot. You see, really not doing big actions. My knife has gone in. And now I'm going to move it from side to side while I flatten it out. So I come across the top of the oyster, so we don't stab it. So I'm just going to go side to side while I flatten it out, like so. Where this muscle is, I'm going to slide underneath. So I'm actually under that oyster, but I'm hard up against this muscle in there. You see that there? There's the muscle, I'm underneath it. There's the muscle, I'm underneath it.
係。
我最邊嘅陳經影啦，
跟住
右手邊
係咯，
應該呢度
一條白線，白線以下。
見唔到喎。
好，試下先。嗱，佢就話先呢個位。
左右。
好。
好碎嘅啲殼。
好似好瘦咁喎。
While we've been chucking away our muscle, so I'll bring those out soon.
Hayden，你唔好啦，好危險。
Oh no! I
Stop.
snapped it.
嗱，佢就話中間呢個位懟落去。
啲人幫我抌兩面。Forward back。
咁你咧就 feel 到。
左右啊。
左右。搞掂咗啦，見到啊 ？OK， 跟住咧你就再開到啦，嗱，跟住你就 feel 到咔一聲，好似要夾埋咁樣。打開少少先，你就會睇到咧，佢度有啲肉黐住咗嘅。咁你咧就咁樣慢慢撥，好似魚仔咧黐住咗嘅，咁你就呢度咁樣刮一下， 咁你就會戒甩咗㗎啦，可以食得啦。好味啊！成功。跟住呢度將呢啲撥埋去。乾淨利落，完全冇碎可以。
Look at how many shells！ 佢個好靚喎。
食蠔食青口，仲有酒飲，係啦，有個白酒。可唔可以講下價錢啊？呢個睇要話俾啲網友聽。係啊，即係2000鬆啲啦，2000零蚊係啦。咁啊，每人有半打，咁啊一兜青口有個體驗，同埋佢會俾我哋喺海上面食一隻新鮮喺個箱度產出嚟嘅一隻，咁啊仲有杯酒。Very good。好，咁多，拜拜先。Hello， 你哋好，我係喺澳洲嘅 MIHK 嘅主持人，咁我係牛腩超，真心教主，咁隔離呢個係我嘅小朋友小澤，咁咧就希望各位繼續可以支持我哋嘅MIHK 嘅營運。能夠咧係助養我哋嘅朋友，助養我哋小朋友，助養我哋嘅同事，能夠生活落去。咁啊，我哋要籌集咧6個月入邊咧就要籌集35萬。咁而家咧大概係只係去咗1/6左右啫。咁所以咧都希望各位繼續能夠係去幫助我哋，能夠哇唔使咁慘嘅 ，OK， 唔使喊嘅 ，OK。好，咁到你講英文啦 ，OK。Please
donate some money to no need to tell. MIHK. I don't know what this stands for, but it's to his answer.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
各位 MIHK 嘅觀眾注意啦！由2022年1月1號起，鱷魚潭只會上傳到 MIHK.tv 嘅網站同埋 Patreon， 只供會員收看。每月並會上傳不少於10條嘅影片。如果各位想繼續支持鱷魚潭嘅，可以去下列 MIHK.tv 嘅網站付費，同埋到 Patreon 註冊會員。